Welcome back, everybody. This episode, we are going to go over the first 4 semesters of Hutchins.
So we sent out a survey before we started our filming process from people who are in Hutchins now, all over all different years, and 41% of people said they felt like they were halfway prepared for Hutchins going into it, and 50% of people said that their first semester was their hardest, and 41% said that their third year fall semester is their hardest. But with that said, do not worry, we are here to help you through it all.
This episode and next episode, I believe episodes 4 and 5, we're going to be splitting basically your time at SSU in half, because that's kind of how the credential program and Hutchins does it, is they split it right in half. So your first and second year is spending getting all of your lower division stuff out of the way, all the GEs, and they're like technically not upper division GEs, but basically upper division GEs. Like you have an upper division music class you have to take. It's like technically, that's not what they're called, but that's what they are. And so you're getting all of that stuff out of the way. And second year is when you start applying to the credential program and start taking prereqs. So that's what this episode is focused on. Next episode is going to be focused on once you're in the credential program, upper division classes, and leaving college. But we're starting with fall semester, first year. You just moved to college. Is that sigh for moving to college?
Do you remember how hot it was?
Yeah.
So hot.
Although, I don't know, my move-in time was 8 a.m. So
Mine was 1?
My type A mother was, we were the first ones moved in at 8 a.m. on the dot. But I lived in Cab my freshman year, and so did Chloe.
Woo, woo!
I lived in Sauve.
I liked living in Cab because I just rolled out of bed and walked to class 10 minutes before class started. It was so nice.
I was right next to the dining hall, so
That's true.
pretty awesome.
A
And the gym.
walk to get to the dining hall.
It was half a mile. I recorded it one day. It was half a mile there and half a mile back, so you walked a mile.
Oh my goodness, that's when my calves grew a lot freshman year.
I know. Freshman 15?
More like freshman 20 for me, but whatever.
Fall semester, honestly, there's not much advice we can give you class. Well, there's a little bit of advice, but Hutchins Track 3 wise, just get used to Hutchins classes. Get used to how they're laid out. They're much different than probably what you've experienced before. So just figure out like how those classes work for you and how they'll work for you in the future. Advice I could give to any Hutchins major is every professor is very different in what they expect in their papers. My suggestion, first week, just be like, hey, what do you look for? Because I know from experience, Margaret, for example, loves when you like add personal connections to the text, because that's how she deems you understood the text, is that you are able to relate it to a more in-depth part of your life.
Justine is one of the professors who likes more of the facts and the analysis and the detail. And she teaches a lot of the first years too. So yeah, going off what Brooklyn said, finding out what professors want in your papers is really all what your first semester is all about, and learning how to change your writing really from high school, because what your professors have told you in high school how to write is wrong. It's so different in college.
So wrong. I took a college writing course, like I mentioned in the first episode, and they were like, don't talk about yourself, don't use the word I, be very concise. We literally, God, this is from my nightmares. We spent from August to October learning how to be concise. My teacher would give us like sentences that we'd have to like make shorter just to teach us how to be concise. And I had to unlearn all of it.
Yeah. You're also, so after orientation, did we meet with an advisor or?
Nope.
No, you're given your classes though.
As a track 3, you are sent your classes and you got to sign up for it. I didn't know who I was signing up for my freshman year. I saw Janet Hess and I was like, all right.
It's a class. My freshman year, a lot of my classes were given to me. I had the choice if I wanted to take the writing class or not.
I
did.
Mm-hmm.
We all did. I know a lot of people who didn't. It wasn't very necessary besides extra units.
I was told I was recommended for it.
I was told I was recommended for it, but
yeah, because I think I voiced that I was struggling with writing, and they said it would help you.
I just wanted to have extra units.
And that's okay too.
It's actually
what it's all
really
about.
It's really nice to fall back on, because at some point you will need to take an elective unit to just like take whatever class, and I was able to fulfill those elective units with that class, so I got to have an easier one less unit semester than my peers.
I still had to take an elective.
That's awkward. I also came into college with some college credits, so that might have been it too.
Oh no, I think I just chose to take yoga. Yeah, I did just.
Okay, so Chloe's an
Yeah.
overachiever and just
Which, if I highly recommend, if you ever have the opportunity, like Hutchins, like is very like condensed. This is such a tangent, but if you like can, it's just one unit, and she does stress reduction in yoga, and it really helped me with my thoughts.
Well, Chloe, doing that, do you want to give us your advice about
semester.
how your first semester went?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. First semester was a doozy. I did good in all my classes. I passed all of them. I actually got all A's that semester. So I caught on very quickly to like how Janet liked her writing, how Justine was the symposium, so she was all about nature, so I really enjoyed that. We went on hikes, and it was like
field trips.
so beautiful. Like going on field trips in college, I didn't think was a thing, and here we are. But I think the most important part for me was finding like a structure, like people that like can support you like growing and like understand you're gonna have a lot of workload, because we're taking well, not at that time, but
we took 18,
but we're taking a lot
That's
of units. We're already accelerated, we have stuff going on, but like they're gonna support you no matter what, and they're gonna understand like, oh, she needs to do this right now. It's not that she doesn't want to hang out with me, it's she has stuff going on. So find those people, and usually they're in your track.
Yeah, and it might take you a while to find them too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I had Mercy Ramiro for my first year, which is so sad she's not coming back. She was announced this summer that she's moving elsewhere.
Is she at Irvine now?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's at UC Irvine, which is so great for her.
California life. Southern California life.
I'll be back down there.
But so your fall semester, you take Libs 101.
Or this is what we take.
That's
this
what
is
we
we
took. It might change, but you take Libs 101. You then second semester is 102, spring semester 201. That's
And
how
so
they
forth.
and so forth. So you take Libs 101, and then 103. I think we should touch on is the Hutchins. It's a 50-minute class. The Hutchins like connect class where you just learn what Hutchins is, and you get to meet people in your track, and you have little like
Margaret was
Margaret taught it.
But were they advisors or were they TAs?
they're kind of like TAs, but they were there to help you.
And they helped us with our classes if we had any
Yeah.
questions. Margaret referred to it a lot as a homeroom.
Yeah.
So
For transfer students, this is your 302 class. Same thing. It's just
You take it your first semester being in Hutchins. It's like a thing you have to take.
for first years it's 103. For transfers it's 302. Is 302?
Yes.
302.
And then most of the time, I'm pretty sure what we had to take was math 150. But the good part about your freshman year, you can either do math 150 straight class, one class and you're done, or you can do math 150 A and B, and it's broken up into 2 semesters.
That's what I did personally. I didn't mind it.
Chloe and I did the math 150 straight, so we had 1 semester and done. It was on Zoom. The content was fine. It was the professor
That's
that
why
was
I didn't
hard.
take it. I was like, why didn't I take that one? It's because I can't do math on Zoom. I have to be in person for math. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I thought since we had just come off of COVID that I would be able to grasp math on Zoom, and my professor didn't like explain anything. He just gave it to us and expected us to learn it ourselves, which is my biggest fear on a Zoom
Really
class.
hard.
I'm not going to name drop, obviously, because we shouldn't do that. But
Only positive
I
name
can
drops.
tell you what his name rhymes with. Heffrey Milver.
But the hardest thing you have to do, the best thing you could do for classes like that is find friends in that class. That's how me and Chloe met. We became really close then because we would sit there and we would do homework together and we'd study it and we would practice the math because we had to teach it ourselves and share notes, and that's just what you guys really have to do in classes that are hard because there are some classes like that. But my freshman year, like I said in the first episode, I was always homesick, so it was a really hard transition, but I thankfully kind of found my way. I'm only an hour from home, so that was helpful. But yeah, I threw myself in my homework, and I actually picked up a hobby that I still do because I was got so far ahead in homework because that's all I would do. I do not suggest that. I do not suggest getting so far ahead in homework. That's all you do. You need to live your life and have fun. But yeah.
What's your advice for first years?
My advice would be, I was told this by someone before I came to college, and you could take it either way, but don't let your education interfere with your education. You can take it as school education and life education, which way, but
love education.
Lifelong learners.
But I kept that because in my mind, you are in college, you are there for school, of course, you're paying for school, but you are also you're learning how to live on your own. You're learning what it is to you're learning a little bit more freedom, and you gotta take it seriously in a fun way, but then also serious that you don't want to mess up your life in the in the first semester right there. So you gotta take it seriously, but you also want to be able to have fun.
Yeah, I would say this is as a first semester, this is your time to really try out different schedules, different routines, figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and to kind of I don't know. I learned a lot about myself over my first year overall. I had a girl come into my life. Her name is Ruby, and I love her, and she changed my mindset as a human altogether. So I would say just this is unfortunately, this is probably the most time you'll have as a track 3. You just have to worry about Hutchins classes and learning about college. So I would set a routine and a schedule and figure out what kind of studying works best for you. Personally, I struggled to study in my bedroom. I studied a lot in the library, and then once Stevenson opened up, because Stevenson was closed our first year and a half of college, because they're redoing it. But once Stevenson opened up, I'm in there all the time. But to shorten it, I don't know. I feel like college is like teaching. I learned so much about being an educator, being in the classroom. College is your time to figure out who you are as a person. And I thought classes were everything, and they're not. You learn through life experiences too.
And I think you learn from your peers around you.
Yeah.
I think I've learned the most from Ryan and Brooklyn, being in my classes, because they have, we have different perspectives, and, maybe they understand something more differently than I do, and I'm oh,
we all have different
it
backgrounds.
clicks, we were studying for, which is a whole nother subject, Rika, and we did...
They won't have to worry about Rika. That's what makes us old.
My God!
They're gonna listen to this and be like, what the fuck
What is Rika? Yeah, okay. That just makes me want to cry.
But continue.
But yeah, sorry, continue.
Oh, yeah, but so, we all have, our different ways of learning, but we all, help each other when we talk about it. Yeah, so your peers, right?
Yeah. But yeah, take this time for yourself. Just learn from yourself.
You're going to learn how Hutchins works, how circles work, how you're supposed to feed off other people, how you're supposed to respect the way you talk and respect
how living on your own works.
How to respect other people's way of talking.
A lot of my friends learned how to do laundry their first year of college.
Oh, yeah. Not me, but I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
I have a huge recommendation, too, because I'm still struggling with it. As much as you can, hide your phone from yourself when you're in seminar. Because, that will get you marked down points. I got participation marked down for me because I was, thinking I was being sneaky. Too realistic right now. But it was on my phone and, got marked down. But, if you put it away, your class is going to go by so much faster. You're going to be fully invested in it. It's also just rude. You're in the class, I apologize to all my teachers watching this when I was on my phone. I know how upset I get when my kids are on their iPads. So...
And obviously, realistically, if something's going on at home, let your professors know. I had something happen like that, and they were my professor at the time was yeah, no problem. I'm not even going to question it, because that's so out of the norm for me as a student.
Mm-hmm.
Communicate with them.
Communication is key.
Literally, communicate with your professors, especially this first year of college, because they're going to be your professors for the next 3 years. So better start getting on some good sides
Become
now.
besties with them.
Mm-hmm.
Become best friends. We have nicknames for them. So we have Kevy, we have Windog. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, now we're going to go into
Spring
semester of your first year. The one thing I think was the biggest jump scare for us was the 45 hours in a classroom we were supposed to have.
I guess this technically goes into semester 1 too, because I personally did my 45 hours over break.
Which
In between first and second
Which is
semester.
what you should do.
Go into classrooms between winter break.
Your old elementary school classrooms.
Go see your old elementary teachers. Ask if you can be there for a week. So we were told in this class that to be able to pass this class, you need to have 45 hours in a classroom.
Also, spoiler alert, I know, spoiler, you have to do this for your credential program application.
Yes.
You have to have field experience. This 45 hours is your field experience.
So what you need to do...
This is not optional.
We didn't know in the fall that we had to do this. So Brooklyn, her mom is a teacher, so she thankfully goes in that class all the time and helps out. So it was super easy.
Super easy for me because
she was prepared.
As you'll learn, college winter breaks are very different from elementary winter breaks. So I came home in like early December and I volunteered in my mom's classroom for 3 weeks. And thank God, because of COVID, they were like, oh, any field experience you've had in the past year will work.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, perfect, it works for me. Where my friend, she had to go to one of the local elementary schools and get it done that semester. I don't know how you guys did yours.
I planned mine for spring break because our spring break is different than my elementary school at home. I did it there. I was able to get it done in a whole week, so I spent my whole spring break in the classroom. But it was great because it really proved to me, I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to be. This is the right path for me, which was like settling and really good when it's my first year of college and, you know, you're always so nervous about classes and if you can go on. And it was nice having that composure. And I got to see my old teachers. I actually volunteered with her and it was like a whole full circle moment and it was awesome. But I definitely had my whole spring break gone to do that. But I was able to get it done.
Reference, 45 hours in the classroom is being in there for 5 full days. It equates to the same thing.
Yeah.
So you need to spend 5 full days in the classroom.
Yeah. I did the same thing as Ryan. I was like, I don't want to reach out to anyone up here because I'm so nervous. I'm new to the area and it just gave me too much anxiety. So I was like, my kindergarten teacher back home, well, it wasn't actually my kindergarten teacher, but I had an AM, PM kindergarten and she was PM, I was AM. So she saw me grow up and then she was like friends with my mom and like she's like Facebook friends and she was like, I'd love to have Chloe in the classroom. So I went home 3 days early before spring break started because like I didn't have classes, which I set up my schedule to just have so many classes on Wednesdays. But I did that and I had to do it. I did like all of it and then the day after I was done, like that Wednesday, I had to go get my wisdom teeth removed and I couldn't, I forgot to have my teacher sign the paper, so she had to email it to me, which came back in handy because
we had an issue with our credential applications. Mind you, the credential applications happened about a year or so after this-ish, a little, 6 months more. I did mine virtually because I like to have a virtual copy of everything. Ours ended up...
a lot of ours
ended up getting lost somehow. I'm not sure how, but I just remember being told, you never turned this in. And I was like, that's really weird because I passed the class. Pause. We didn't say this. The 45 hours is for Libs 312. It is a prerequisite for the credential program. But one thing about Hutchins, keep everything digital. Have a digital copy of everything. I still have my full credential application saved into my drive. My drive is obnoxiously organized. It goes by year, then semester, then by class, and then I'm just obnoxious like that.
I don't have that.
Or find a friend. Find a friend who has everything digitally copied.
Thank you, Brooklyn.
So, because it's helpful.
Sorry, make a copy of that paper. Because mine got lost, my dad had to go back to my elementary school and talk to my teacher and say, hey, can you sign this for her? I mean, I texted her before, but she thankfully knew my dad and was friends with my dad, so it was okay. But for people who that's not easy, it was hard. Like, we were all told, like, you can't come into the program without this paper, and mini panic attack. I wish I had it pre-saved, because I also had to go and re-find a paper to print out, find a way to get it to my dad. Then my dad had it signed and brought it back up to me. Like, it just made the process a lot longer.
If I personally spent all of my spring breaks in college traveling, and it's been some of my favorite memories from college is traveling. If you want to do that and don't want to spend your time doing these 45 hours in the classroom, my friend did it throughout the semester up here. I remember when I came here, I was like, I don't know any of the schools here, so I'm gonna toss out a couple elementary school names. You can reach out to these elementary schools, and they take student teachers, and they're always like happy to have volunteers. There's Evergreen, there's Hahn, there's Monte Vista, there's Pengrove, La Fiesta. I think that's like the main 5.
The closest ones.
This is like the closest 5 around here is Pengrove, La Fiesta, Hahn, Monte Vista, and then Evergreen. So perfect.
And it doesn't have to be in one grade. You can switch around grades. So if you want to see all of them, if you want to see 5 grades in 5 days, that happens. You just have to be in a classroom for 45 hours.
Looks like, either fall semester or spring semester, you will make something called a Hutchins e-portfolio.
Oh.
Don't be dumb like me. Be smart about your theme. Your e-portfolio is going to be something you work on throughout your entire time in Hutchins, and it's going to reflect your time in Hutchins. Don't be dumb. Don't make it look dumb, because I've redone my portfolio. I don't know about you guys. I've redone my portfolio like 3 times, because every time I look at it each year, I'm like, I hate how this looks.
You most likely will end up redoing it your senior year, because each
That's
professor...
so much work.
I know. Each professor wants something different. So my first year, my professor's like, total freedom. Do whatever you want. And then another year, I had someone, she was like, no, it needs to be like this and like this and like this. And I had to go and redo it all. And then I didn't touch it again since. And then now I was like, it's confusing. It doesn't flow. And I redid it all. So that's okay too. I did it a way of just trying to get the assignment done. Brooklyn did it in a way of actually trying to save for the future.
I did mine based on myself. Like, I did a theme for myself because I know, like, it will kind of change. So I've never really had to go back and restart the whole entire thing. So I really recommend don't do, like, I know they say based on your teachers, but your teachers will always appreciate self. So
I looked at the rubric that we would be given our senior synthesis, and that's what I based my portfolio on. So I didn't have to change it. I just hated the theme. I had a purple theme, and I was like, I hate this, so I changed it to books. Now we'll link in our website of all these resources. We'll link in the description and somewhere in our website our portfolios, so you can see it. I've never gotten a bad grade on my e-portfolio.
No.
So that basically sums it up for your first year in Hutchins. A little like side tangent I'm gonna go on. Sorry, I'm going off script. I stayed up here my first summer after college. I stayed in the dorms over summer, and because I had a job that I worked. And
which dorms?
I think that it changes every summer for what your summer dorm is, but I think it was Sov.
Oh.
Holy shit. Staying up here for the summer was the best decision I think I ever made for myself. I literally had the time of my life. I saved so much money just working like 40-hour weeks. The river up here, super fun to go to. I honestly had the time of my life. My first summer up here, I lived alone. I was by myself. And yeah, I just had so much fun. So if you even have like an inkling in your mind, like, should I stay up here throughout the summer? My answer is yes. I loved it. I've not gone home since. I love it up here. I think it's more, I'm just like a severely independent person, and I just like my independence.
She is the Noah Kahn song, You're Gonna Go Far.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah, like, it's about daughters going away, like...
Yeah, that's me!
And just being independent.
Yeah.
You're the best thing that they lost.
I still talk to my parents.
See,
I'm seeing my mom tomorrow.
I don't think of that song in that way, but okay.
Oh,
Okay. Again,
Anyways,
remember, we all have different perspectives.
We all have
and
different
it comes
perspectives.
together.
You guys didn't stay up here your first summers, right?
No, I booked it on home with COVID.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're also like, you live on the beach. So if I were you,
had a
I would
beach-
stay in your home.
I had a
home too.
hometown job. I coached beach volleyball over the summer,
Yeah.
so that was.
I had a job in my hometown as a camp counselor for the Parks and Rec district there, which was awesome. I got up ahead in that job really fast because of all of the classes I was taking. And it really did help with Hutchins and all of the academics and classroom management, all academics I needed. So
I worked at a coffee shop because I worked at a coffee shop when I was in high school. So I got another job like that up here in college. And then this last summer, I was a camp counselor for this. Can I say this? I think I can. For the city of Santa Rosa. And genuinely, it is the best job I've ever had in my entire life. Again, it's helped so much with teaching. I realized I love to be a camp counselor for 4 to 5 year olds, but holy smokes, I cannot teach them. I will be their camp counselor any day. They're so cute and fun to play games with, but when it comes to learning the letter I, not my jam. But anyways, enjoy. I took summer classes and they weren't awful.
I didn't take any.
The way you both started shaking your heads now.
You don't need, so here's the
You
thing.
don't need to.
You don't ever, in Hutchins, you don't need to, unless you fail a class,
Correct.
need to take a summer or a winter course session. It is only if you want to get ahead, like Brooklyn did. And
I had a scholarship for them.
yes,
That was-
they're
I
also
would not have-
expensive.
I
yeah.
would I would have not done it if I did not have like a scholarship for them.
But there are a lot of opportunities through
For
Hutchins
fun.
and through the school to get scholarships for summer and winter classes because they want people to be taking them because a lot of classes get canceled because they don't have enough people signed up. And then those people who did sign up get screwed. So
Correct.
they do want people to take them, so they do give out scholarships for them.
Yeah, and honestly, I shouldn't be saying this. They're easier than a normal semester class. You might be writing a lot, but it's like
3 weeks.
not that
4 weeks
bad.
long.
Probably my second favorite class of college I took over summer with Eric, and it was anthropology of humor. So good. Anyways, now that we're off in tangents, enjoy your summers, first of all. Enjoy your summers. And make sure you check your reading lists about late July, early August, just to get it in.
And just to add on to the reading list real quickly, used books. Make sure you
Used books on Amazon!
Yes.
Use books on Amazon. There's other websites.
Or reach out to alum. Reach out to the older.
They will probably gladly sell you their books for $5.
Honestly, I
to
did
get
it
rid of
too
them.
for free just to get rid of it.
Yeah, real.
But I will say a lot of people are like, oh, don't buy your books till you go to the first day of classes. No, you're going to need all the books in Hutchins.
Although, pause. If you have Kevin, wait. Kevin usually has a PDF of all his readings on campus. It's rare, very rare he doesn't,
They'll
but
tell you.
there's some professors that will, and there's some professors that expect you to have the books. I've literally gotten books for like $2 on Amazon. They might take a month to come, which is why we're saying check it out in July.
And by the time you know professors and you ask alumni or upper Hutchins people about these professors, you will say, hey, don't buy the books. They have PDFs, or this class, or even professors will say in their Canvas, this class has a, what is it called? The readers.
Mm-hmm.
Eric has readers. Ianthe has a reader for one of her, had a one for her class. I think Justine did too for one of her classes. So it'll
For the
say.
people who are like me, what is a reader?
Oh, I think I have mine.
You want to find it?
Yeah.
Explain it. A reader is a bunch of shorter articles.
You have to pick it up from a printing press, which I did not know existed.
You have to pick it up from a printing press. So it's about $30. It depends how big. The one for Eric's, I think, was about $40.
She's coming.
But it's binded. It's all
It's so nice, and
laminated.
it's yours.
It's yours. It's really nice.
If you are watching our video, this is my reader for Death and Dying with Eric McGuckin, though he calls himself McGoo. So it says McGoo's Grim Reader. You can see on my little pages of where I was at in the book last. And if you see, I have them all highlighted.
But it's just
I used a gray highlighter because I don't fucking know what's wrong with me.
Use a gray highlighter?
Yeah.
But it's
easier on my eyes.
A reader is just a collection of articles or shorter stories that your professor is having you read instead of buying a big textbook to only read a chapter of it. Which a lot of times they do have just chapters of certain books in here. It's honestly saving you money.
Like here is a 2-page print up from a clinic about broken heart syndrome, and the next one is like a 5-page New Yorker article. So readers are something that I loved my reader. It made it so easy.
Speaking of, sorry, I'm a little off tangent, but speaking of books and readers, there's this thing at Sonoma State called the Seawolf Bundle.
That gets so complicated.
It gets so complicated.
With Hutchins.
I personally have never done it. It came into like status when we were going into our junior year fall. So they just started telling us about it in spring. They were telling us about it in our music class. That's how I remember vividly. But if I was a lower classman, so in Libs 101, 102, 201, 202, I probably would have done it. It's supposed to help you save money. It depends on the unit of classes, but in those classes, you pay one amount and they give you all your books. But when you get up into upper division, you get things like the readers, or you get probably 5 books instead of 11. So it doesn't end a lot of classes. Like one of my classes right now, she's like, don't buy any of these textbooks unless you want to. I have given you all the PDFs for it. And then if you bought Seawolf Bundle, you'd be paying for nothing.
You are automatically entered in Seawolf Bundle. You have to physically opt out of it.
Which I have that link saved. I can put it in our website as well.
Please, because I always ask.
Make a section for our website where you can go to opt out of it. It is totally up to you, but you are already put into it. You can always opt back in too. You can always opt back in. Every semester you have to opt out.
So up until this point, you've taken all Libs classes and math classes, and maybe some random Cal's classes.
You have to take
I took Astron.
You had to take a science class last spring, which I forgot to mention. Me and Chloe took teaching chem and physics, and
there was some bio thrown in there too.
And some bio thrown in there. How to teach it.
Do astronomy. I did it online over the summer through the JC. JC classes, super cheap. I did it online over the summer, and he just gave me random videos, and then we had a test, and that was it. And it was so easy.
The one thing about the JCs or community colleges, always make sure that it actually counts.
Verify it with your...
With Billy or your advisor.
Yeah, verify it with Billy, and then verify it with...
Wendy.
You guys will be Wendy. I verified it with Stephanie, who's my advisor. But... Up until this point, you've just been taking mainly Libs classes. We are in year 2. You're coming back as a second year. You know how to do college, kind of. This is when we start getting into credential prerequisites. Mm-hmm. So, every credential program, no matter where you go, there's going to be prerequisites. Am I saying that word right?
Yeah.
Prereqs. We call them prereqs to the program. Sorry, I broke Chloe's brain. Prereqs. I think our first one is 304, which is we hold these truths. Again, probably will change as this ages and we age. With the credential program, you must keep above a 3.0 GPA. Doesn't really matter for the prereqs, but I would suggest just getting in that habit, because once you slip, it's
a nasty fall.
It could be hard to recover from. And then blah blah blah. Let me go back. Honestly, I would just say get used to being a second year. We took a geology class, which was like my first ever college exam, which sounds so lame. That was my first ever college exam.
Oh God!
In the geology class.
Were you in natural disasters?
Mm-hmm. We all had natural disasters together. I would say that was actually a really fun class. I'd recommend it.
It was a really fun class.
Nicole Myers she taught that class really well. It was hard because
Top Hat is the scariest app I've ever been on.
Top Hat's really scary, but
it was a hard class, but I think it's because we weren't used to the way that class is like a real college.
Real.
Real tip. Sorry, not real. erase.
Typical
College experience. We were in a lecture hall. She was lecturing
a lot
at
of people,
us.
like 80 people.
A lot of lecturing, and then we would take a test.
Late was super awkward.
You had to show your ID card after the test to be able to leave.
That's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
And if you didn't have it, you were screwed.
And then you had to, every class you had to put in a code, and if you didn't do the code, it also tracked your location.
So you can't give it to your friend sick at home for credit. It was a lot.
Top hat is pretty scary.
But I really enjoyed that class.
I will say, this fall semester, looking at my notes, I
think
remember.
it was our easiest.
It was probably our easiest now looking back. Fall semester year 2 is pretty chill. I became a shift lead before this. This is where I started getting like a higher role in my job, which took a lot of time out. So this is probably when you'll have the most time.
Yeah.
I started lacrosse
I
here.
got a boyfriend, and I joined a sorority.
We
I
all
started
live very
lacrosse
different
here.
lives.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't.
So enjoy this time. I'm not gonna say go out and party.
Have fun.
If you have I'm gonna say
Don't
have
let
fun.
your education interfere with your education. Go have fun.
Enjoy yourself, if you know what I mean.
Go
Don't be stupid.
Go
Don't-
socialize. Go socialize.
Go socialize. Don't be stupid. But socialize. Make friends.
Because once you get to where we are right now, it's very hard
Or
to
stuck with
socialize.
each other.
So
I socialize
outreach
with
as
second
much as you
graders.
can, you know? I socialize with 2nd and 3rd graders and the teachers.
This is like, not to be scary, but this is like your last chance to have fun. You're a normal college student right now. Because after this semester, you're not going to be a normal college student. You're going to be a
You
dual.
have late night classes.
You're going to be a dual.
Student.
What is it called? Dual program student. Which leads me into our next thing. At the end of fall semester, 2nd year, you'll most likely, we had a Zoom. Don't know if that was because of COVID, but I think it's just how they do it.
They do Zooms now, yeah.
We had a Zoom, and this Zoom preps you for your credential application. Now listen to me when I say this. Do not wait till the end of your winter break to do this application, because it is due in the end of January when we applied. And I rushed.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
And the worst part is there's things you need to do
That take
forever.
forever.
Take forever to get done. So you need to get those things done first.
Fingerprints need to go first.
Your fingerprints need to be done first.
I can just like rattle off
Perfect.
everything that's involved, and then we can go deep one-on-one. So overall, our application looks a little different from like their normal application on the website because we are track 3s. No track 3 has ever been denied from the credential program.
Even me.
Don't freak out.
You're gonna be fine. They kind of know us. If you just like mention in there your track 3, and they'll be like, got it. But for our application, you needed the application packet, which you have to fill out a little bit. You need a statement of purpose. You need basic skills requirement fulfillment. You need pre-program experience. That is your 45 hours in the classroom. You need 2 letters of rec. You need your transcript sent, your official transcript sent to the credential program. You need a certificate of clearance, which is fingerprinting. You need a TB clearance. You need a legal information requirement course. And really weird thing about the credential program, you cannot turn in your application folded. It has to be in those yellow envelopes that you can only buy in packs. I still have all of them except for one, which is the one I turned in. So go in on a pack of yellow envelopes because they're stupid and you don't.
Aren't they called like manila envelopes or something? It's like
Yeah,
manila folders.
Sure.
I just want to touch up back on your recommendations.
Oh, we'll go through. Yeah.
Could we do that?
Yeah, let's do.
Perfect.
Let's do letters of rec. We needed 2.
So yes, we needed 2, and so I assumed they had to be like teachers. They had to be all that stuff. They recommend teachers, but they also want to like judge your character. So I had my Girl Scout leader who like watched me grow up do one of my letters, and now she's the treasurer of USC. So that was a bit of a flex. And then I had the woman who's my second mom write about my character. Nothing about me teaching, just about my character, and I still got in. So You want to pick people who know your character, not how good you are in the classroom.
And make sure these people are reliable, because these letter of recs, you cannot see them.
Yeah.
You have to have your person email it or mail it to them. They prefer mailing, but mail it to them directly. So these people need to be timely and trust what they're saying, because to this day, I never saw mine.
I've never seen mine. I had one of the teachers I worked with my 45 hours do it. And then I think I had a mom she's watched me grow up, but I've also babysat. I babysit her kids now. And so she's watched me grow up, and now I'm in charge of her kids sometimes. So she wrote my other letter of rec as well.
I had my manager at the coffee shop write it for me, because he had been working with me for about a year at this point, and he had seen me grow into like a leadership role. And then my second person was like I mentioned, my mom's a teacher. One of her teachers she teaches with, her sons and daughter like babysat me growing up, so she's known me since I was little, and she's seen me in the classroom, in her classroom too, and so she wrote my second one.
But let's go back
to fillable. So they're going to give you an application packet. That's self-explanatory. It'll tell you what to write. Statement of purpose. Mine was about 2-3 pages double-spaced. I barely remember mine. I'm not going to lie to you right now.
your statement of purpose.
The statement of purpose. But I looked on the website of what they want now. You kind of talk about like what led you to want to be a teacher, your knowledge and like skill level in the classroom, and what you think are essentials for being an educator. And then you also want to include like why you chose SSU, and you have to include one of their core values, and they'll have the core values very clearly listed on the website, but to summarize them, it's inclusivity, collaboration, community, reflective stance in light of educational and social inequalities, equity and access in the classroom, and then learning through research-based pedagogies.
I just pulled mine up because I have not looked at this since I've turned it in. And I just remember, like, also, you need to say, like, why, like, not, like, why you should be in there, but why you need to be in there. Like, what you're going to gain from them teaching you. Like, I wrote about how I want to, like, reflective, like, of my education, like, be more collaborative in a classroom. And I know that Sonoma State is, like good at that stuff, and I've talked to so many people. So I think, you know, like, talk about what they can give you. Because not everyone is going to need what they're giving.
Okay. Yeah, good advice. Next thing, basic skills requirement. Wendy will tell you.
And if you...
Or your head of, or your advisor. Whoever your advisor is, they will have it.
And if you happen to, like, you know, something doesn't go, like, math doesn't go well for you or something, you took your ACT and you got a high score.
You speaking from a friend's experience, Chloe?
No, I'm thinking about myself.
I know.
I suck at math, and everybody can know that, but I did good in my ACT in math, so.
Your basic skills requirement goes pretty hand in hand with your transcripts as well. Your ARR will be your best friend. I know it's yours.
I love my ARR. Get comfortable with your ARR, because when you first enter college, it's going to be scary and all red, and now we're here and all of it's green and yellow, which means it's completed or in progress, and it's scary. Your AAR is where your GPA is, where you apply for graduation, basically where everything is in the stupid ARR. It's academic report something along those lines. You, again, with the letters of rec, you cannot see your actual transcript. You will click a button somewhere in my SSU that says order official transcript. It will take you to a place called Parchment. Parchment is going to become your best friend, especially when you get your sub card. You're going to order your transcripts from Sonoma State to Sonoma State credential program, and it seems so counterproductive. But that's okay. You're going to do it. It is going to, depending how many units how many units your transcript is, it's going to cost some money. Again, like the letterbreaks, you cannot see these. You will not see these. I only have seen my official transcript recently, and that's when Julie Hunter at SCO, Sonoma Office of Ed, printed it out for me so I could reflect on my past grades.
I've seen it multiple times, so I'm just confused.
No, you're seeing your unofficial.
Oh.
You can see your unofficial transcript. You go into you go into your My SSU, it's right there. But your official is different for somehow. I cannot tell you how, but it's different.
Moving on.
About you.
No, it doesn't.
Let's start a rumor.
Okay. This is gonna be real. We're gonna get graded really highly on this if we start a rumor. God. Next thing is something you will have to become very comfortable with.
Shing.
Thank you, Chloe. Would you like to explain the
Oh yeah.
shing?
So you're not a criminal, but you're going to be a teacher. So you need to get your fingerprints
You need to make sure you're
scanned.
not
A criminal, right? So you're going to get your fingerprints scanned constantly. And the first time you do it, actually, what they tell you is do it as quickly as you can, because it's not you in charge of sending it, it's the people there. So you have to make sure you get it done by a trustworthy place, and then they're going to send it.
I have always gone to Ameriprint in
good,
Roanoke
so
Park.
nice,
They
super
are the
easy.
only walk-in place, and as a track through, you'll learn your schedule gets pretty crazy, and so
go when you can.
over winter break, I was like, wait a minute, I have a free hour in between the shift. I'm gonna go and get fingerprinted. I did. It's in Roanoke Park. Super nice, easy.
I go there. I've gone to UPS a couple times for jobs. They take.
No, go to Ameriprint.
Go
I
to
love
Ameriprint.
Ameriprint.
I wish I had Ameriprints where in my hometown.
I wish I did Ameriprints. I went to creepy UPS.
I will say
It takes.
the amount of times I've been fingerprinted in the past 2 years is crazy. I think it's been 6.
It's criminal.
But your fingerprints probably takes. The hard part of the credential program application is you have to get fingerprinted, and you have to wait for them to give enough time to get sent to the government. Then after that, you have to go into the California, what is it? The CTC.
CTC, California Credential.
CTC.
I'm going to Google this while you're talking.
Okay, so it's.
I should know this. The amount of times I've gone into my CTC account.
You have to then go into your CTC, create an account, and then you have to.
Why is it called CTC? Because it's
California's commissions
on teacher
Teachers
credentialing. So
credentialing.
it should be CCTC, but it's not.
It's too long.
It's CTC, which is California Commission of Teacher Credentialing. This will remember your login because you will need it for your credential. When you will make a CTC account when you go into the credential program. Remember your login because I didn't, and it took so long to get my account back.
But after you get your fingerprints and get sent in, you have to go then to the CTC, create an account, and then you have to get cleared through them as well. And that's another, how much money? Fingerprints
it's like
itself
70 or 80
is
bucks.
fingerprints itself like $60, 40 to 60. Then to okay it,
because
get
2 is
okayed
80.
through the CTC is another $60. So think of it, you're spending money to make money.
Not for another 4 years.
Stop it.
I'm joking.
I easily spent over $200 on fingerprints.
They're expensive, but sadly you need to do it.
You don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
So we recommend Ameriprints.
They're the
Not
cheapest
sponsored,
ones,
but
yeah.
But I cannot stress enough. Get your fingerprints done first. The other
before Christmas. I would suggest before Christmas.
you have that meeting, go the next day.
Yeah.
The next thing that also you want to get done soon is your TB clearance.
Which is super easy.
Super easy.
You don't have to leave your bed.
Super easy. You can do it through the Student Health Center at Sonoma State. They do it for free as of right now. But there is also, you can do it at your hometown and go any doctor's office, they'll do it too. There's the blood test or the poke and then go back and do a bump.
I went in person for the sub card and they checked my breathing and then
asked me
a question about my interactions with TB, which I don't know about. Oh, if you don't know, TB is tuberculosis. It runs usually kids get it, and that's how you can get it, is through grimy little children.
That's why teachers have to get TB
Yes.
tested all the time.
And then last part is the legal information requirement. It's a Canvas course. You'll be assigned. It's really easy.
Super. I did it in a day.
I don't need to explain it to you. They'll give you a certificate. Print it. If you're like, should I print this and include it in my application?
Yes. Should I always be over-prepared? Always, always, always. Especially with this, be over-prepared. Print everything. Print double of everything if you really feel like
Always
you
save
need to.
your receipts on everything. Like, make sure they get sent to your email and store it right away.
Save receipts is a good one.
I
don't know about
also
that.
would just document when you turned in your application. I turned it in with another girl who's in our cohort of track threes. I turned it in with her, so we both can verify that we both turned in each other's application. But I think that's all we have. Congrats. If you made it to the end of this, you probably finished, or are about to finish your halfway point through college, and that's super exciting. So yeah. Any final remarks for your lower division? It's called lower division. Any final tips and tricks for lower division?
I just want to keep emphasizing, it's going to be in every episode, I think. Enjoy it as much as you can, because I felt like I treated this, like Ianthe was saying the other day, like a checklist more than I treated it like an experience that I'm paying to be here for.
That's good. That's good advice.
I low-key miss seminar. We don't have any seminar classes.
Yeah.
I kind of miss it. Because it was, now I have to like come to class like stressed and prepared. Well, okay. You have to come to seminar prepared. But I could just relax the whole time and just yap.
Honestly, get your good habits now. It
Literally.
gets, I'm not trying to scare you, it gets harder from here, it gets busier from here, but get your habit, if you have your good studying, learning habits now, and you learn your time management,
Easy.
it will help you a lot more. And
And with time management too, you have the opportunity to do outside of school as much as you can. Do outside of school like stuff. So like go on hikes, go to the grocery store, find joy in the little things, because that's gonna like help you debrief from the huge weeks you're gonna end up having.
Yeah. Especially, like I said, river season opens up the second it gets hot. Go to the Russian River. I love the river personally.
I'm a 24-hour fitness gal. They're open actually 24 hours a day, so highly recommend that too.
But other than that,
There's a ghost.
Other than that,
congrats on finishing your second semester.
We're halfway
second year.
through. You're halfway through.
Or you're about to be there, and we are so proud of you.
So we'll see you when you're entering your third year.
Which will be in a few minutes for us.
Yeah.